Thank you, Ishita, for joining us. Got to talk a little bit about what you do, and um, so excited that you are here to join this Q&A. So, first question is, tell us about Cosmic Touch, how it works, and how is it monetized?
Yeah, thank you, Bendu, for having me here. And I'm so happy that Damien introduced us. So the Cosmic Touch is my baby, I would say. It's the community that I'm currently building. And the way that I describe it, or the way that or the members see ourselves, is as creative change makers who are looking to make a positive impact in the world. And this includes people who are generalists with multiple skills and passions, HSPs, neurodivergent folks. And everyone here is binded by a true commitment to their own personal development. And we use essentially, you can say three tools to create or channel that change in our lives. The first one is Reiki energy healing, which is where we actually get in touch with our body, with our true intentions, with our soul's purpose. Then we use some design thinking to innovate, create new ideas, and really find ways to make the changes that our soul or our heart really wants to create in the world. And the third one is technology, because that's the way that the world is going right now. And I personally feel like technology has made a lot of positive changes in my life. So I want to kind of spread that, especially through AI and through digital products. So those are essentially what the community is based on. And some of our values are giving from the heart, leading from the heart as well. Then we have nature and respect and love for nature, spending time there a lot, because that's what really connects things. Um, and we have wellness at the heart of it all, because the more we prioritize our own wellness and health, the more we're able to give from a space of fullness rather than, like depletion. Yeah, and then we also have creativity, because that's what we are, creative change makers, right? So taking breaks through creative endeavors, cooking, art, whatever it might be. And the last one, and really important one, is curiosity, because just questioning and asking questions about different aspects of the world, as well as what we're interested in, and going deeper, is something that really broadens everyone's perspectives. Um, and To answer the second part of your question about how we monetize, so we essentially have three ways. So the first one is we have a course which is called the Butterfly, and this is for every creative change maker who wants to better understand who they are outside of the roles that they hold professionally and personally, and create a career or a profession from a space of owning their gifts and talents and strengths, rather than fitting into those boxes that we've been taught to, fit into. And this is again based on the three pillars, which is Reiki, design thinking, and then Agile, which is through technology. And what binds it all is the community aspect of it all. Um, the second way that we monetize is through one-on-one sessions, which are called the OWL. So every session, everything that we hold is based on an animal, or like some kind of nature related thing, because that's something that's one of our values and something that I really personally love. So these are mostly like spirit animals, which I've seen a lot in the collective archetypes of the community. So yeah, the owl is a 1 hour power session where we do like a Reiki cleanse. So we understand what the challenges are that someone is facing, especially in their business, which is usually linked to blocks in the chakras in the body, which have been like internalized, like self-doubt, or someone said something to you and, you just took it too seriously. So it gets stored inside the body, like the body has memory, and then the body starts holding us back. and saying like, no, don't do this, don't do that. And then we just don't end up making decisions, you know? So we first understand what those challenges are. I identify the chakras, and then I actually do a cleanse through distant Reiki, which is where I connect with a member through Reiki symbols, and then send them gentle healing by releasing whatever blocks I find in their aura or in their energy. And then from there, we make an integration plan and action steps to actually achieve whatever goal it is that they want to achieve. So this is the owl, which is one of my favorites. And then the third one is weekly workshops, which are called Reiki and Chill. And this is like a really fun space where we receive Reiki around a topic through a meditation as a group. And then we actually have conversations with other members who are also on a similar journey and create a pathway for how we can better assess ourselves on that topic. So just yesterday, we had a session which was about boundaries and honoring our inner no. And the most beautiful part about that, like the most beautiful takeaway from that for the group was the more we honor our boundaries, the more we're able to honor the boundaries of other people. So when we say no, we're more accepting of receiving a no as well. You know, we don't take it personally because we ourselves know what no feels and means. And yeah, those are the three ways for now, but I'm always, you know, designing and innovating. So who knows what's next?
Okay. For those who don't know what Reiki is, can you give a more explanatory uh, summary of it?
Sure, yeah. The way that I see Reiki, or the way that I explain Reiki to members of the community or to clients, is it's essentially like, okay, from an example, so you know, when a little child gets hurt or they fall, they have a scab or something, their parents immediately put their hands on that, you know, scab and just kind of like, you know, give it love, you know, like, or give it a kiss, right? And what that really does is it tells the body that it's safe to heal. It's safe to be here. It's safe to heal. And of course, also the child emotionally feels okay. It's not that big a deal. It pains right now, but it's safe to heal. And that's essentially what Reiki is. It's like a safe container where we have the space to actually release things from our past, which might have been causing emotional disturbances, traumas, you know, like even collective traumas and ancestral traumas, like things which have been passed down from our parents, grandparents, or even from our cultures. It creates a safe space to really just be like, okay, this might have been the reality of someone else, but now I have the choice and the agency to create my own reality.
How do you view solo entrepreneurship when it comes to opportunities for women, minorities, and others who face systematic setback in 2025?
Yeah, this really makes me activate my degree, you know, in international development because this is essentially, you know, what I learned. And intellectually, I still know that there are a lot of discrepancies and a lot of biases, unfortunately, for women, minorities. Like, that's what I feel. And while the industry is growing and, you know, like people are becoming more and more mindful, I feel like there's a long way for us to go to really have inclusivity and diversity inside any project, any community, any digital or even in-person space for intellectual curiosity or for outside the box thinking. Because what essentially ends up happening is people want to work with people who are most similar to them. which creates like barriers for
Yeah.
people to really find new connections. Um, and the best way I've found to break that barrier is to find some kind of common ground with almost anyone. And that common ground for me has been love, the heart, and coming from a space of giving and receiving through the heart, not the mind. Um, so the more heart-centered a person is, no matter what they look like, the more, I don't know, I just feel like I want to work with them. And that's what I would really like to see more in the world, like removing these masks of who we are, where we came from, or what our past or history looks like, and more about what our heart looks like, what our soul looks like, and what our values are. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This interview has been wonderful. Um, and with all this positivity, we need it in the world. Um, so the next question that I'll ask you is, where did you grow up, and how did the where you grew up influence this positivity and just like burst of love?
Wow. Very, very interesting question. Okay. So I was born and brought up in New Delhi in India, and the love part of things came from a very loving, large family with a lot of dysfunctionality. So we had a lot going
I
on,
mean, we all have.
right?
We all have.
Yeah. So while what I noticed in my family, especially, was while everyone had their own opinions and their own ways of communicating and so much, I don't know, like noise in the way that the family operated, the underlying value was always love. Always, always love. Even when there were fights, even when there were like struggles between family members, there was always
Mhm.
this underlying quality of I love you and I respect you, but I don't know, my mind is kind of, my logical mind is telling me that this is how things should be or that is how things should be. So that really inspired me to kind of take on this quality, and especially like my granddad, who recently passed away, he really like held the whole family together just through his kindness and love, and
Yep.
that has really, I think that has trickled into every life decision that I've made since. Just like, yeah, of course, sometimes my mind takes over and draws all of these crazy conclusions, which are probably not possible. But ultimately, I think my heart wins. And that's where I communicate from. That's where I take decisions from. And yeah, I think that's what inspired me. That part of my family inspired me to make these decisions.
Okay. I can relate to that. My grandfather was the same way. Um, I think his go-to line was do the right thing
Mhm. Yeah.
before he passed. So I could definitely relate to somebody always showing love and doing the right thing, like how my grandfather, used to say.
That's
Um,
beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
what was your first job?
Wow. Well, I was actually 10 years old and I started designing stickers. And I used to just go to like random parks in the city and sell them to strangers. So, so that was like my first entrepreneurial gig, I would say. But yeah, like as an adult, my first job was working as a social media manager for student life at University of California in Los Angeles.
So, do you have any advice for other people looking to go the solo route?
Yeah, well, the best advice or the best experiences I've had as a solopreneur were when I listened to my body and I stayed true to my heart. Um, so the advice that I would give to anyone who wants to take the solo route is in those tough times when you feel alone, when you feel lonely, or things are just taking too much time and you're feeling impatient or whatever, um, ask your breath, ask your heart, and then ask your like feet. These three parts of the body really make this really beautiful connection when they're working in sync with each other. And when they're out of sync, you'll feel it. The breath will be short, when you're anxious, like you're not able to breathe all the way down into the belly or into the feet. The heart constricts when it doesn't feel aligned, when it doesn't feel like things are going in the direction that you love. And the feet, they get cold or they don't move right. You feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to move forward, backward. What do I want to do? So really just like stay connected with the body and move from a space of fullness as you go down the solopreneur route, because this is the best personal development course that you could ever take, because it's all you and what you want to create.
This was a fantastic interview, and I really appreciate your time. Me, Damon, and the team appreciates your time, Ishita, and you're so insightful. Um, Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bendu.